years is divorcing me because he discovered that our firstborn is not his child. A friend sold me out, and my husband demands for a paternity test.
Why are you saying that for the man it is okay because the pregnancy is not being carried around? It is not okay for a woman because the woman is carrying the pregnancy around in your face. Let me tell you, it has happened. And if you love this woman, you're going to sit, figure it out, forgive, or if you are
If it needs a break, give a
Let me
break.
tell you something.
Move
When you tell
on.
me
If you
earlier,
if you wanna
it
keep
was
it,
1
if you
year,
love
it
her.
could be very heartbreaking. But there's a way maybe a guy would have swallowed it. But it's 5 years.
Hi guys, once again in the house, the kings and queens, men at work. We are back in the building with the beauties. For the first time in the record, we are having a king, the king himself. Man, you're strong, eh? But anyways, welcome once again. We hope you've been good throughout the week. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you might be watching us from. This is Aurora once again in the house. I'll let my guests introduce themselves, then we go on with today's topic. So I'll start with the king.
It's a ladies first.
Okay.
So I'll be a gentleman and let the ladies go first.
Miss Cardamom.
Ilikadma. Queen. Enjoy the show.
Shan.
Shan,
Okay.
just that.
Yeah, Shan.
Okay, welcome everyone to the Kings and Queens show. Booker, my name. So let's catch a vibe, yeah?
Okay, guys, in the house we have this that I'm going to read. I'll take you through it. My husband of 6 years is divorcing me because he discovered that our firstborn is not his child. A friend sold me out, and my husband demands for a paternity test, which came out negative. The child is 5 years. Am I wrong to think that my husband is overreacting? He loves this child and has been a good father from birth. Why is he letting me, telling me to do the test? The child is still the same, intelligent, humble, loving, and cute. Why can't we pray about this and invite God in our house? I am so drained right now. I'm sure this is taking us back to the DNA test, but I'll first ask the king himself, putting yourself into this guy's feet or his shoes. What do you think? Discovering after 5 years you bought the Pampers, you ran around with this pregnancy, all the pregnancy moods. Would you still wait for God in your house?
I think the woman defined the man as a husband.
Yeah.
Defining the man as a husband, they went to church, said their vows. You get? So God was already in the house. I don't know which God should be invited in the house again because God was already there. I don't know. I hate reacting out of anger. So I would first step out of the house and then think about everything and then come back with a solution.
Okay.
But it's a tough one, taking care of a child, knowing olabirira mwanawo. And then the next thing you know, after 5 years of you showing love, of you telling every clan member that, you know what, I have a son or a daughter, you get. And then next thing, boom, the test is negative.
You're finally off the chest of relatives, Ozala dear.
Exactly. Man, that's the toughest heartbreak.
Ladies.
Things happen in relationships. I don't know how I'd react, and I'll not feel sorry for the men either, because he's got an opportunity to be a father. Like he says, God was there in the beginning when they were doing the vows, and he's in the house there, so they're not going to look for God outside. Hey.
But Kadima.
Guys, have you looked on
Kadima,
have you
you're
looked
literally
onto this
saying
side?
that I've got an opportunity to be a father.
Yes.
You're literally saying that
And
my
this
sperms
woman
can't
loves
swim.
you. No, I'm not saying that.
No, you're saying none of my sperms can swim to
Things
like
just-
hit the
things-
ovaries of a woman and she gets pregnant.
If you love the woman, you forgive and move forward and accept. You've been, like she said, you've been
But
running
that's
around,
betrayal.
doing
Relationships
the-
are built around trust.
But how come, have you thought of it
Yes.
if maybe
That's an
this lady,
individual.
after staying with you for some times, you could not give birth?
You're saying?
Have you thought of it that maybe after the first year, the second year of your marriage, nothing is working out?
You see, that is out of context. Okusinzira what you've read. That is out of context. I know people who discuss and be like, you know what? My eggs, my men can't swim to your ovaries, but let's get someone to like help us.
Sometimes it's two-way. The husband is not willing to sit on the table, discuss this. So the lady tries out.
Come on.
No, let
to
me
make
read
things
this last.
happen. And sometimes it's for your own benefit, not to be embarrassed.
Listen
amongst
to
your
this.
peers, your family,
If the lady is
or
saying,
close
I am
unto
so
it,
drained
zero.
right now, let's invite God. And if the lady is saying, why is the man overreacting about it? There might have been
God is in
something.
the house.
being
Sometimes
discussed.
women tend to be motionless.
Either the lady
Yes,
saying
thank
the
you.
man being
Yes, women sometimes tend to be motionless.
frustrated
Sometimes
with the
before you
relatives,
saying-
bring the child, and you're not doing it. She steps out to assist you.
Yes.
This
It's
is why she's saying,
assisting
why
to-
can't he love the child? It hasn't changed. It has not turned from a boy to a girl.
No, there's a difference, sweetheart. The test came out negative. That is already a difference. So don't say nothing
So
has
you want to
changed.
say that
There's
she should
change.
have
Yes.
informed the guy earlier about the
They
pregnancy.
would have maybe sat down together as a couple, talk about if the other child had failed to come out, then would sit down and look for ways how they can find themselves.
They did sit down. By the time she does that, they have sat
No,
down.
the
But
man
the
wouldn't
fact
be
that the
overreacting.
guy didn't know about the child and he's been taking care of the child for 5 years means he didn't
The
know anything.
lady, and actually, I'll remind you, if the lady is saying, am I wrong to think my husband is overreacting? That means they talked about it.
She's wrong because
Yes, she's-
women
Thank you.
play the blame game all the time.
If it was a woman finding out the guy had the child, she would also be reacting. So, however much you want the husband to be very understanding, you have to give him time.
But there's no way a man would have a woman. I mean, there's no way a
Child.
man would have a child. Because they don't get pregnant. Omukazi na overreact. Tayari bad them relationship.
Either
This time
way.
around, it's the woman who got
Either
pregnant.
way.
The guy took care of the pregnancy, took care of the child for 5 years, and then after 5 years, he gets to discover that this child is not his biological child.
That is so bad. And I'm
But
a
it
woman,
does
but I
not
can
kill.
say
It
the
does
woman
not kill. The man does
wasn't
not
right.
die because of that.
Have you ever been heartbroken? Like
A
really
thousand
heartbroken, and you feel
times
like
until I'm
you
just
can't, you
understanding
So
can't,
in
you
that
this
God
can't
time,
let
breathe.
nature
this time
be.
around, you're
If she
saying
did
you're
that as a
heartbroken
plan-
twice, loving the kid and loving the woman.
And also taking in the fact that, you know what, I've been raising this child for 5 years.
Please tell me,
Do you know how many
1 year.
people get to know that this is your child, like in that line of 5
Chimney.
years?
Chimney.
And you have
When you hear the story, if that lady says the child's still behaving, calling the husband papa, or rather whatever the relationship they're having, the joy of you responding, people doing all those things, playing with that child. Why are you looking for the other side? Really, if you've done vows and you say in bad,
And good.
God is there. From the time even distrust are happening, God is there.
Kadima, listen. Trust me, you don't expect me
I
not
know
to
it's
have emotions and not
painful.
to react. But you're speaking like it's okay. You know what, this has happened. Put it behind your back.
Move on.
Move on like nothing happened.
Of course, you don't move on immediately. But what I'm saying, if it has happened and you have not died,
Do you know the first thing I do is move into the guest room.
you can do
That's
the
the first thing I
drama.
do.
She has still given birth. The child is there.
She has given birth to her child.
But should we
To you,
consider
to
this?
ours,
No,
our
I have
child.
the choice to love
Like
the
in the
child,
time of
to
forgiving
still
your
love the
lady.
child.
Yes. You
To
have
me,
that, and it's
my
an opportunity
understanding,
to be a friend to that.
If this lady has never cheated or done anything
that is already
outside,
cheating.
I'll kind of give it. Listen, okay, check. No, I'm saying before.
Hell
Okay,
no.
let's assume you've been in a relationship for 10 years. This boy is 5 years. Okay. Now you've never like went around sneaking on me or checking my phones. I'll a little bit, even though you ask for a divorce, fine. Okay. but first go backwards.
Backwards and do what?
Provided the owner of this child is not walking into your territories.
No, they definitely
Why not
walk
keep-
into the territory at some point, because you know what? Someone will at some point come
Then
and
this
claim
is when
this
you
child.
act as a man and protect.
Protect what's not yours. Legally, you have no rights
just
over
know
that child.
when a boy child does the vice versa of the story, they'll tell you it's okay, understand, you know,
No,
in a kind of
Kadima,
society.
Kadima.
If it's a girl child who does some distrust, it becomes a very big problem. But let me tell you, if you love somebody, you'll fight. It's another fight in a relationship. It's another fight. Everybody has their things. Nothing has gone away.
Actually,
you
where
look
you
forward
step
to
in
the
and
next
say, okay,
baby
you want
and
to see your
move
child
on, and
every weekend,
accept
it's
that
okay.
things can happen.
But I know along the way it
That's
will
another
become
fight.
disturbing, right?
You see, I watched a video of an old man who was sending off a child of 10 years.
Yeah.
You did watch that video. And this guy was sure this is my hair. You know, the person who has to take over my responsibilities. And the guy was too old to give birth again, to like shoot shots. You get? So just imagine that scenario.
Whatever happened has happened. What I'm
Yes,
saying,
yes, it has.
cannot
But
be
then there's
undone.
dishonest.
There's this child.
There's
There's
dishonest. There's the breaking of trust.
Dishonest is there. Relationships. Are you telling me that you walk in a relationship, you walk on only your silver or golden plate?
No.
No.
Do
So-
you know a guy called Jaja Ball on TikTok? You know what he said about his woman? You guys, get
Chimmy.
real.
No, for real. For me, I'm thinking if it has happened, of course, there's dishonest. It could be you either way. We could be reading a story and it is this man has had a
Lily.
relationship 6 years and the boy has happened and would say, yeah,
Lily,
it is a
imagine
man,
walking
it is
out.
okay.
Imagine walking around
Things
a room
happen.
full of lies every day. Like imagine
If
walking
lies
around a
saves
house full of lies.
if lies saves the situation, for example, you become a father, the in-laws could be happy, society would be happy, some people would be happy, so it is okay. People are not going to
She
die.
got saved. That lie got saved
Are you
for
saying
5
some
years,
people
and
did
then
not
it
sin,
stepped out after
Banana?
5
Now
years.
you are attacking Did they sin?
No.
Every day. That's why they repent.
Kadma, it's not right.
It's not. I'm not saying it's very right, but I'm also saying
Because this is not
it
like
has
my boyfriend
happened.
found out. This
It
is
has
my
happened
husband
already.
found out.
It has happened already. You look forward. Biruma. Lengera kuchiddako.
Sit as a
Yes.
man and your
Ozizo
woman.
nosanga omwana ogala TV nogagwe va ku TV yange.
No, I swear it can be hurting you once. However much you can try to take it easy.
It never
to-
works away from
Yes.
your mind.
So how you've been treating this child is not going to be the same way you're going to be treating them. So to avoid you acting bad towards the baby, you rather, because the child is not to blame. So instead of you carrying your anger to the child and always having thoughts in your mind about what happened between you
If
and
I've been spending my 10K
yeah,
to buy
so you look at this person and you start calculating how much money you've been investing in this child and the woman. So it's really, I don't know, I cannot say.
May I say something that we will not be happy about? That is daily bread. I don't know about the other world, but in the African societies, that is daily. It is there. And if we just walk up and DNAs were done, abantu bajja kuzirika bweru. But for this general happiness, for us to survive situations, we paint colors, especially we African women. We paint colors to survive our relationships, our in-laws, society pressure. So I'll not name it on the girl child. It is not okay, but I'll not neither name it on the boy child. If it is done, if there is an opportunity to make things up and look forward and forgive, well and good, but this is daily bread in our society. We just don't want to talk about it. Anything can happen. And we women can be very desperate when it comes to motherhood. Yeah, you're stuck. Msajja kubye embaga, you're there until
Your
the
friends
eyes
start,
are all
what
on
is
you,
going
you're
on?
stuck and you just
What are you
wanna do
waiting for?
something. So think of forgiving. It's not okay, but think of forgiving. And if
you,
you love
you're
this woman, you're
technically
going to
saying
move on.
relationships, marriages are all about the society.
I ain't saying
perception
that.
of the
At one
society.
point, yes.
You're getting married because of the society.
I,
And you're in this house dealing with
society
problems
has a
because of the
percentage.
demands of the society.
It has a percentage because one, we still have culture in it.
That we respect.
That is a society image. Otherwise, twandibadde nga wetwesima bwe tutikimi tuvaawo buvi nga tukola ebyaffe. Naye as you grow up ekintu kijja, you just want to do right. Because we're on earth and there is man.
But then you say for better, for worse. Why not sit down
And
with
that
me
is the
and
worst.
we discuss?
That is the worst you're dealing with. Of course, discussions will go on. What I'm saying, there is a child.
When they say for worse, bagamba bwavu na kufa. Not bwenzi. Because bwenzi is
Thank you.
condemned.
Yeah.
Bwenzi is condemned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, kituufu naye kati nze nja kwogeranga omuntu ali ku ttaka ku ground.
So now let
The
us
fact
pay.
that the woman is
But-
calling for God to intervene, you're already
You can't
sinning,
rule out
you're against the
Bwenzi.
what?
Kyekyo kye kiri.
How do they call them?
Because we
Commandment.
usually run to God at our lowest
God
points.
alabye ne
Yeah.
human beings.
And the only thing I can say why this woman could maybe be calling for God to intervene is where you want God to help you calm the man down so he could change maybe his decisions. But
Okay.
sometimes we make this guy so tired.
Make this clear.
I don't know.
Chime,
But let me
are you
ask.
saying the process of this woman being, from the time she goes out, she undresses, she becomes pregnant? You mean Satan is there?
The
She gives
temptation.
birth.
Getting
That
pregnant
child
out
comes
of
out. You see,
marriage.
God is in this picture. God is wishing.
God
the
is
whole
protecting the
relationship.
child.
God is there in worse and good. God is
Now let me ask, what if she came home positive, HIV positive? How would that be?
nga mufa.
But it's pregnancy that has come out healthy, giving you joy, you know? And you're walking away from it.
Now you're introducing HIV positive.
I think me, I was
You
supposed to
die.
be a man
If you're
because
meant to
there's
die,
no way I can
you
be
die.
in the same line with a woman. I don't know. Because sometimes I want to turn the situation the other way around. If it was a man, you would see women attacking this person. And then the fellow men will be like,
you
it's
want
okay.
to say, you want to say that if it's this guy introducing the child to the lady after 5 years of them
and
staying
this person
together,
hasn't told you about this, maybe you would react. You would actually have more
You'd
to
react, but then it's not like this guy is moving around the house with a pregnancy.
You see?
No, it's a different situation. It's not like the man is
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
around the house
It
with a
hits
pregnancy.
different.
When it's a man
it
doing
hits
this,
differently.
it's
Man,
easy.
you're like-
do you
you're
know
like-
But either
that?
way, it's whether woman or man
Thank you.
introduce.
Okay, to the rescue.
guys, we have someone in the house to defend.
Come on.
But let's take it to this. The same way you're feeling that I've hidden it away from you 5 years. What am I on? Like, I'm picturing different stuff. You coming home late. You usually come back home maybe at 8 or 7. I'll start to picture that, okay, the rest of the hours, him coming back home maybe at 2 or 3, he
I
was
could-
nursing the other lady.
I could still have someone out there and come back early.
So what I'm trying to say is, let's think of it in the economic way. Someone who's been feeding this dude for the 5 years, this child, education, proper health care, sheltering, all those stuff. And then this day comes and then this woman says, bro, you know, this child ain't yours. Like, it belongs to another, he belongs to another guy. So you as a woman, what do you think of the man? This guy has been boasting around.
Guys, by the time
Knowing,
I understand
by the time I
when it
come
comes
to
the economical
involve
side.
God, yeah? By the time I get to be drained, I've thought of how you're
hey,
going
let's
to feel.
be humans real quick
You
before
get
thinking
it?
of God. Let's
Because
first be
I
humans.
also get to think about your reputation in your friends. You've been introducing this kid to them. I'll think of it as a woman.
Yes.
And trust me, before I even get to tell you about it, it has bugged me for months.
Sleepless nights.
You know?
Dealing with it.
Every time I wake up, I don't know when is the right time to air it out to you. Because every time I'll be like, babe, there's something I want to talk about. But I'll tell you later. You know?
But
Because
then-
I know what is going to happen. Let me tell you, by the time a woman decides to say something, she has already weighed the advantages and disadvantages of the situation.
She has.
Decide.
We're not
She
emotionless.
barely-
friend that told her
Chim, we're not
husband.
emotionless like you say.
No,
We're
remember,
very
this is a
sensitive.
friend.
She
Remember,
didn't
No, no.
stand up to say it herself.
No, check.
Just stand
By
up
the
to
time
own
she
it.
passes it off to say to the friend,
No, she didn't.
a friend who
Where did the
sold her
friend do
out.
the drama?
You know?
I know.
Of course,
It
usually
is.
friends
It
know
has
the
been
charmer.
heavy on her. You get it?
Yeah.
Because we have these best friends. But then the friend, to ease the situation, goes back and speaks to the husband. Man, this and
I
this
think
is
it's
in.
not
But
the
it
friend to
has
speak
to
to your
some
You know?
husband.
Yes, you have to.
It's
But
speak
then
to your
he
husband
says
yourself.
she was sold out
By the friend.
by a friend.
That
Yeah.
isn't a friend now.
You get it?
That's
Hey,
serious to
hold
be
up.
your friend.
So
That's
this
what
is
I'm
Friend,
saying.
you see,
hold
a
up.
friend
So she
sold
was
me
still
out.
keeping the lie.
Yeah,
No?
that's
She
what
wasn't
I'm
even ready to
saying.
say about it.
Yeah.
Like, she talk about it. She wasn't even ready.
You saying that she's been keeping it for months.
Hey.
That means if the friend
She
didn't
was figuring
go
it
tell
out.
the
Sooner or later
husband,
she was gonna
she
say
wouldn't
it.
still
Sooner
talk
or later,
about
after
it.
20
No,
years
it
of
was
that or
bad.
what?
Guys, by the
Yeah,
time
it's
you
gonna
say
be
out
fine. It's
something,
always
it has
fine.
The only
been
problem we
bothering
are
you.
facing
And
here-
you
You
are
didn't say it
finding the
out.
situation.
You didn't say it out. It's your friend that sold you out. You didn't come out yourself to go tell your husband.
So you're technically telling all the women watching
How
this
about
podcast
I was,
it's
I was
okay to
telling
That
my
it's okay.
friend to ease it for me on how to approach him.
You understand your husband more than your friend. So by the time you fail
Then what
to
are
talk to
friends for in the first
your,
place?
that to help you out, not talk to your husband.
But I think the friend did right.
Thank you.
She did right. Because she broke up this thing that was going to take like years to be talked about. Now she
It was
talked
not
about
going
it
to take
earlier.
years. She
It
was
was.
planning to talk.
I
Why-
was
willing to
why
keep
are you
the
talking
problem.
She was
like
because
who,
you
how
remember
do you when who
even
man
going
what are you
for
thinking
the
when I have
DNA?
not
The woman
allowed
said
you to
what?
say- you're not my friend.
Why are you
From the
asking for
time
the
you
what?
say it out.
The what? How did they call the test?
The
The
paternity
patent
test.
test. She was also reacting about it, asking why the husband would ask for it.
You see, people don't pretend like
So
you're
it wasn't her
emotionless.
It is
willing.
no.
She wasn't willing to say it out. If the friend didn't say it out.
It's painful.
Lily,
I understand
a
the
lot
economic
happens.
side, but speaking, ruling it out, I am saying the
I'm not-
child is in the picture.
I'm not
Even
even
if it's-
talking
You're feeling
about.
so much pain. But
Listen.
I'm saying, why are you saying that for the man, it is okay because the pregnancy is not being carried around? It is not okay for a woman because the woman is carrying the pregnancy around in your face. Let me tell you, it has happened. And if you love this woman, you're going to sit, figure it out, forgive, or if you are
If it needs a break, give a
Let me
break.
tell you something.
Move
When you tell
on.
me
If you wanna-
earlier,
if you wanna
it
keep
was
it,
1
if you
year,
love
it
her.
would be very heartbreaking. But there's a way maybe a guy would have swallowed it. But it's 5 years, and it's because your friend came out and talked about it. If she didn't talk about
see-
it,
A
that
friend
means it
naye
would take-
abayagala omusajja.
Yes.
Russia.
No,
Lily,
sometimes
you're
it's
not,
for
you're
the
not,
good.
you're not looking
Not
at
because of the man.
the betrayal here.
I am speaking out of experience. I have witnessed it in my circles. I know what I'm talking about. It's painful, like bad pain, very bad pain. What I'm saying, that person did not
Why
die.
you
and the other
sounding
person
like?
did
Why you
not
sounding
die.
like it's a walkover?
But if this person is your friend, if you're friends,
Let me tell you something.
you could figure it out. If you're not friends and you've just been hanging in there for some unconditional things, definitely you will quit and walk away and say
but
betrayal.
you know,
betrayal.
these
I know
are
it's
more years of now
painful.
rebuilding the trust.
Thank you. No, I was
I know
saying,
it might never be
the
the
way
same.
the way the lady was calling out for God to come and help her out. That would be the same way you would call out God to come and help you get a baby than going out sleep
was
with
good.
someone else.
But then-
Let me tell you, I have
Sweetie,
an
that
experience
was
about
good.
that. I have an auntie who got married. She had never slept with anyone. She got issues with like the in-laws. They would say a lot
pressure.
of words. This lady grew up with me as a kid. She raised me, and the in-laws were saying she already gave birth and dropped, and she left the baby somewhere else. So she's coming in for this marriage, and she's failing to give birth. It was like 4 years, but she didn't sleep around. But they rather advise a man to go and sleep around and get children.
Yeah.
The in-laws.
Actually,
Which
they would
she was
even
okay,
bring
but
a
she
lady into
prayed.
the
Advise a
house.
She
They do
prayed.
advise a woman equally.
They would even
And she
bring a
now
woman
has
for.
children. She didn't sleep around with any other person.
And what happened
She
to
had
the guy
faith.
when he went to sleep out?
She
Did he
got
go?
children.
It is good and great, but these things do not happen.
Had
to
it been he was
everyone.
patient.
She was patient.
And we are different.
And she believed in
Patience
God and she
varies.
prayed. So the way this lady is asking God to come and help her out of the situation, she
calm
would
the guy
kneel down,
down.
cry to God to help her and the husband get a baby.
You say,
But does she sound like
this
she's
child
sorry?
Is coming from,
Then what
from
happens
She's
to
Satan.
the
sounding like
child?
the guy is just reacting over what is happening.
Over some
not
simple
even
thing.
feeling sorry for herself what she did to the husband.
She's
You have to
feeling
first.
sorry.
No,
she's
she's
not.
not.
She's
She's
not.
just trying to seek for how can I call it?
My question-
You're trying to look for sympathy. Can I say it that way?
Are you-
You're calling out for people to come and help you out on things that you did without consulting nobody.
She must have consulted and people advised her to do that. Plan.
Then
In
why
one
not
way-
run to those people than come into social media anyway?
Because it's social media, people gather there just.
In one way
would
or
Are
have
you
the
saying the
other.
baby
Some way.
that was
In
the
one
baby
way or
that
the
came
other,
out
the
is
lady
not
kind of
God.
the
sounded
problem is
It's
not
of
the
Satan.
baby.
Yeah, she
The
was
what?
so selfish.
She kind of sounded selfish.
Yes.
By saying the child remains the same, intelligent, humble, and loving.
Kati mwagala
Besides
omwana
that,
akyalewa.
Why is he overreacting?
No,
And
she's
let me
just-
tell you something. Me, I'm thinking
Like,
the,
it is
the guy
simple.
is reacting. Is not
To the
having
response.
any issues with the
With the
child,
child.
but with the
The response
mother.
of the mother,
Yes.
the way it's brought out.
First of all, if you want this person, your attitude towards the person after what is
Should be
happening
humble.
is what is going to matter most. You should be very sorry to the extreme. So you give this guy reasons to change his mind. So you just don't. The way when she wrote the things, she was like,
It looked like, okay,
is
me, I
okay.
have what I want. You
Yeah.
go find what
I
you
just
want.
like,
thank
you know what,
and
this
you
happened.
have to be okay with what is there
that is-
and continue with
That
life.
is social media. If you search this woman, beneath it all, I know she's not proud of how she went with things on. And
But
if
she
you
sounded
had
with-
her
she
side,
sounded with a lot of
genuine
ego.
side, forget social media. I
Could
still
be-
think
could
that
it be
it's
the
not-
response
it's not
from
just
the guy
okay. She's
after
also
hearing
suffering.
about it?
Yeah.
She
But
could
that's what
actually
she had
be
to
just
do.
feeling guilty. Sometimes we do things out of when we're guilty conscious. So you feel bad, but you still don't want to accept that you did wrong.
No,
You
she
just,
does.
you
She
just keep
realizes she
boiling the
did
water.
bad.
She didn't
does.
in anything she said she wasn't blaming herself for doing anything bad.
No,
She's
she
actually
knows.
talking about how the guy is reacting
Just I think
to what she
she's just
found
looking
out.
for a solution how to
Did she?
react.
Was she
She doesn't want
feeling
to lose the
bad
husband.
about
No,
what
she
she
wasn't.
did?
She wasn't. She was only
feeling
justifying a point that, you know what, this happened.
And this
the
guy
boy
has
is
to be
like
okay
this.
with what is
Then don't
there.
overreact. Period.
Just understand
It
it,
was
and
just
we
a
move
short,
on.
A
It's
short
not easy.
something. She's just trying to tell you,
My dear.
please, I still need my husband. How do I walk over this? But now she
Talk
didn't
to
have
your
time to tell
husband.
you. I did apologize. We sat down. He chased me. I chased him.
No.
It must have happened. But I think the husband is still not
But she-
listening.
she
or
took time to
why
write a
broke
paragraph.
some
Glasses.
glasses.
She took time to write a paragraph
You
of
would
how
have
the
used
man
that
was
person
overreacting,
Your typical
over
social media
unintelligent,
in-laws,
Thank
the
you.
way she...
and the true definition of a feminist who doesn't want to
a
accept.
feminist.
No,
social media
I'm
in-laws
saying
are
her.
here on set.
No.
Hey.
Let me
Lily.
tell you something.
Hey, hey, where do you want the child to go?
No, the child
is the
Tetumuli
guy
Nako
has no
was
problem
at
with the
any
child.
point.
And he wants. He didn't say. I don't think that the woman was saying the guy doesn't take care of the child or he's
No,
wanting a
it's not
child out.
mentioned anywhere.
Yeah, the issue is between the woman and the man. So the time
it's
the
done.
woman is, me, I don't like social media. Whatever is happening
But she
here,
rushed to
it's-
social media for solutions.
you would have run to your husband. However mad he would be, he would still, you would talk, whether he's giving you attention or
Possibly
not.
would also run to the in-laws.
Lily, we understand.
Some in-laws are not easy.
There are a lot of people who
Some
have
in-laws are
taken
not easy.
care.
These guys were not there when you guys were getting yourselves.
We have-
Me, I
we
believe
know
whatever
people-
happens
We got
between
the
you and your
child.
husband has to be sorted between you and your husband.
Ma-
You don't have to involve anyone
Mawanda,
else.
Go back for it. What's no one? We got the child, period.
Yes,
I
come to put
don't
some
even
bullets.
understand the statement overreacting because this man has all the rights to overreact.
Thank you.
Overreact.
Why
Yes.
not?
Of course he has. He
Because
has the
if
right
it
to
was
feel
the
pain, to get mad. What I'm saying, it happened. What is the way forward? How do we deal with this? Okay, it happened.
But then
if
the
we're gonna
lady is
spend a
not
whole day
even feeling
pleading for
sorry at
that
any
somebody,
point.
But it
This
was
woman
done.
isn't bothered with what's forward. She's bothered with the overreactions.
Thank you.
That's the thing. That's the problem.
It does not stop. Reaction can continue and continue, but what is
No.
the way
Guys.
forward? So, like, Tim, in such, what would you do
The
about
house,
it if it
the
happened
house,
to
the house of the kings and queens.
you? Mawanda,
You've had our
Somwana twamusala
discussions.
wali mu kifaananyi.
The child is in
Omwana
the
tata.
house, the man is in the house, the lady is in the house. How do you think these people would really come to a conclusion to stay a happy family? Yes, ladies out there, we should learn to apologize. We should learn to respect. All this happens out of disrespect. Because maybe you might say, this guy will not react.
You would feel it in the way.
100. I would say that
Story in the statement.
I would
The
say
choice
that
of words.
80% of our men are silent. They rarely speak. And we do take advantage of that. Because a man might be troubled and you'll come like, oh, what is wrong with it? He'll keep quiet because he's fighting his inner battles you won't know.
Yeah.
So guys, let's, as ladies, as real ladies with culture, the we in the house,
Yes.
and you outside there watching us, all these mistakes come because we have less respect. And we shouldn't involve friends into our marriage because when I was dating, darling, my dear, you were not there. Let's learn to stand bold, speak it out, spit it out. Because if you find this problem outside, had I mentioned about it, it will be easier, maybe at around 1 month, 2 months of the pregnancy. Man, 9 years, 5 years.
I think the
Even
pain
if it
is
was 5
economic.
years. Hold on. Even
But
if it was
not-
5 years.
not-
For as long as
Lily,
it's me.
I think
Let-
Kenya,
let- let-
ntakumalidde
Lily,
ssente. That's
Lily,
what the
let us
pain is.
approach this. Let us
Hey.
approach this conversation with the economic essence out of the space.
That's
Because
what I'm
personally,
saying,
first
but
thing,
looking at the
we are
other
talking
side,
about
it's okay.
emotions
Yes.
and the traumas, and we
It
are
is
only
there.
talking about the man. How about the kid?
When the comrade came, when Manda came in, he did bring the economic side of it. I could understand. Aguze pampa akoze bino runs asasude.
Ekyo kirina secondary, nnyo,
But
naye
you
the
should also
primary
talk
thing.
about the
Kwagala
child
kulembeza
being
wano.
traumatized.
The child being
Yeah.
traumatized.
Yeah. Going
You've
to
built an
school and the
attachment.
kids have got to know about it. They'll say, that's not even your dad.
Olina ekirabo ng'omuzadde olabye waliwo ensobi omwana ono for the love gy'olina ku mwana ono newankubadde nga tokkiriziganya na kikolwa kye yagiramu mu mbeera kuba naye walina essuubi. To me what I'm looking at, it is done.
No,
And it
as a
could be
man,
okay, do like this.
Lily.
Lily. Let's put the story now. Let it be instead. It's the man eyazaalawa
Ebweru.
ebweru ng'omukyalo ono amwekuumidde ebbanga eryo lyonna agenda okuwulira emabbali bakyali bagala bagamba abo abaana bagundi. Either way, it could be. It's not just taking things personal. Let me tell you banaye bino ebintu biri
Nakadde muli
biri
mixing
too
ebintu
much.
I
bino.
know.
Siri
This
mixing.
is so
Ati kati,
different from,
mwe-
you know
mwe
what,
ba social media
ono omwana
enoze
si
ekintu
wo.
mukyetangirira omukazi mumukuba enyondo. Let me tell
No,
you,
from the
kiyinza okuba nga
start, you said-
musajja nga it's the man who's done that.
No, from
Could
the
it
start.
be the same blame?
Hold on. From the start, she said maybe they sat down as a couple.
Yes.
And talked about it. So if you talked about it before you going out to sleep or run with a man, how about if your guy also slept out?
When you
Because
listen,
also look
when you
at
listen
this
to what
statement.
you
I'm
read,
you-
so drained right now. The
No.
woman is so drained.
Let me tell you what
Could have
she's
been
saying.
that they
She's
talked.
drained. She's thinking about how life is going to be after this guy maybe living the life.
The divorce
listen,
beginning
don't be
of it.
confused by the phrase she has read. The woman said in that statement, I am so drained because of when the guy is overreacting.
Yes.
And it really drains. It's
You
not
get.
good.
So she expected the man to get to know, like to know from a friend, go do a test and it comes out negative and the guy is like, oh, we have a baby who's not mine. It's okay.
Let's move, woman. It's not easy.
like you know,
It's not easy.
it's
Never
like
gonna
you're serving a
happen
guy
nowhere.
This woman,
a piece of
by the time
cheese. You're
she's
like, you
crying
know
out,
what?
saying she's drained. Trust me, it is not easy. It is not okay for her. From the time her friend feels out,
She might
the
even
what?
be thinking
and
of
the man
life
is
after
blaming
the
her.
guy
Why-
asking
why
her to
does
step
he
out.
learn it
That
from
is
the
what
friend?
I'm saying. That was
Why
what I'm
didn't she
saying.
tell
She
it
could
to
not
her?
even be thinking
Tell
about
it to
the
him, you
situation.
know.
This takes us to love a person who's your friend.
Thank you.
Because someone who's your friend, you might never keep such a thing
You
away
open
from
up.
them.
I think
Unless
you should just
your
put
uncle,
God
your auntie
first.
came and told
Because
you,
even your
bang,
friend can
this is the
betray
woman.
you.
you
Yes,
should
Yeah.
even your friend can. It depends. We're human beings. In nature, man is selfish.
By the way, do you know that
We're
people
human
forget?
beings.
Do you know that in relationship, people forget they're humans?
Yeah.
They're made to be perfect.
Yeah.
Actually, I
It's
don't
not
believe in
about
perfection.
perfection.
There are boundaries
It's not
that you
even
cross.
be about
there are
perfection.
limits. You don't say that you're human. You have to go get a child out of
It's
wedlock.
not what we're saying. We're saying we shouldn't bring.
It's
we
actually a
shouldn't
little bit
criticize it a
understandable
lot.
if you're not in a wedlock.
Thank you.
Guys, let's respect
And I
our
think-
men in their silence.
And let us also
Let's
stop
not take
putting
things for
kids
granted.
into this
Queen.
ruckus.
Yeah.
If you
That
By
is
the
what-
time you two decide to be together,
You
be
know?
together. Eh?
And that was together.
If one of you doesn't
No,
have
kind
the
of
eggs or takes long
togetherness.
to get
Left out
pregnant,
was
be
already
together.
over. The
my
togetherness
sisters,
was
queens
shared.
and kings here, that was togetherness.
Togetherness of
God
hiding
was there.
secrets.
God was there.
You can't hide a secret from your
Stand here
friend,
to a man.
your partner.
You would never.
That means
You're not
God
friends.
was there.
yeah.
So what if
It
the
was
man
a
at
plan-
some point?
So
You're
when
not
you're
the
making
planned
vows
kid.
and they're talking
Thank
about
you.
worse,
You're
bad,
looking at
or
what
good
is going
times
to
and
come
bad
out.
times,
Mm.
what
Child
worse are
is-
you expecting?
But then, okay, now let us go
Because
to the
they know
biblical
their
teaching.
challenges in relationships. You know?
Guys,
Nedda kyekyo mwe
Divinity.
mugamba mbu worse and bad vows and vows husband
Nate
no cheating.
eky'obwenzi
Let me
tekiri-
tell you. Anti kyekyo kiri mu waasi.
God condemns that.
Ekyobwenzi kiri mu waasi.
bwe tuba twagenda mu maaso ga katonda.
Where is it
That
written?
happened.
Where is it written? Where is it
Kiri
written?
mu waasi ovowinga ku
No,
waasi.
if we went before the Lord
Kati
and put our
tugambe
marriage before the Lord,
in good and good. But let me tell you, the worstness we wali buli kavuya kali mu relationship
No.
kali mu waasi. Kyova owinga tu. Kyova olaba
No.
nti when things are going wrong, they sit you down nti mwakuba ekiragaano. Worse and good. What
so let
worseness?
me
What
ask
are
a
you
question.
thinking?
What
You
would
go
you
out,
do?
you go
No,
out
being
to have
worse
sex
doesn't
out of
Yes,
the
that
marriage.
is the worstness
Not
because
thinking
they
of
know
the
these
possible
guys that
outcomes.
were writing these things bategeera nti ekintu kitabuka. Ekintu kitabuka.
No, let me tell you something. You
Muleke
could wear...
okwekubya yaka.
To make
Me,
matters
I'm
worse
going
nga
to
n'omwana wa
defend
get
men.
man.
You get my
Nga-
point.
Guys, once again in the house.
No, but
As you can see, the
before
house.
you say something,
Yeah.
this is a very sensitive topic.
Yeah, it
and
is.
It
and,
is,
and
of
the
course.
most sensitive bit of it is the trauma that goes to the kid.
Yeah,
Because this is an innocent soul
very.
going to
they're
see
stabbing,
a house
yeah.
break
We are
down.
always innocent
You know, you're raised
as
with love
kids.
and then the love is gone.
And it is
And kid is
because of
not-
you.
But then you're taking guiltness of something you didn't ask
Chimney.
for.
You didn't even. I don't know.
You're picking something else. Now you're going to talk about this. Kakati, we think about people about jumping relationship after relationship. Nga mulimu n'abaana. What are you going to? How are you going to nail such people? If you're just
You
speaking of this
either
one man
accept
who has come and
or
gone.
deny
We've
it.
seen single mothers.
Guys, no, let me make
Man
this,
after man
guys,
until she finds
let me,
the right
let me put
formula.
this straight.
These
yeah?
kids go through it. So there is nothing going to
If
change
this
much,
person
but
is
it
your
is
friend,
that bad.
okay?
Netukiriza
Like a
mwana
real
wali.
friend, you accept the relationship. No one has forced you into it. I have my kids, you have your kids. Are we ready to raise these kids? But not to accept a relationship you're going to be in with kids and later on out of the blue you just budge it on the kid. Because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We get it. So this kid is nowhere in the picture where you two met. You understand? But as you fight, trust me, there are challenges whereby you're seated somewhere and the kid is like, Mommy, can I speak? Or maybe you are the dining. And the two of you who used to communicate as mom and dad, you start to look at each other. These kids are going to notice.
Yeah.
And before you know, they are mute. Before you know, the academics are declining. Before you know, they are not anywhere in the school being noticed. And you're being called all the time. So what do? Are you going to still walk away because you've become a part of this child? This man, whether he divorces or not, unless he's not a dad, the
And there's
child
no-
mind, because he's used to picking up this kid from school or either taking the kid to the park or for shopping. At the end of it all, as we're like concluding this, guys, let's go for who is your friend, someone who's not going to judge you, someone you're going to be open to tell anything.
Yeah.
Whereby you're stepping out, you're in the car, you're somewhere. Hey, babe, someone, winked at me, And it's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
You make fun of it. You get it. But what brings all this is because we don't respect one another. We have dropped culture. We are like, if it happens, let it happen. I'll be blamed for what I did. It does not work. But if we feel for one another, such things are not going to be...
Chimney.
The percentage will decline. You get my point? Because if I don't feel what the man feels, that means I never loved him. I don't
Yeah.
care about how he feels when he's hurt. You get it? And if I was so desperate, this is a guy, had it been that you're pregnant for a child that is not his, if he didn't love you and he wasn't patient, believe me, he would have been in the bar with other girls or even bring girls into the compound. But he has not done that. So, guys, the kings and queens, feel free to comment. Feel free to give us your views. In the house, we have had these pretty girls, by the way. Don't ask me if they're single.
And even before you conclude, the ladies should know that guys who with married women know how to count the calendar. So at some point they'll come and be like, ja, omwana wange mwaga.
Director,
I know.
caption that for another day. Echo chirimbo, baby. Chirimbo.
Tubala calendar.
There's even something she said.
Psycho.
The people who sleep with men and have
Lie,
children.
lie.
How about this one who came once and left? One thing I know, I can say is when even when it's during dating, you date someone, you break up, and you guys stay friends, my dear.
Me, I don't
But
want
this
this.
lady didn't even mention. Does she know the father?
I don't want that thing of friend zoning. I
Does
don't
she
want
know the
it.
father?
I don't
or-
want
You have to
it.
just walk
Still
away. You don't
talking
know
to
the
the
father.
Ate bawulira no bajagala talking about they keep talking.
No, Jaga,
Hi.
talking. Okay, the fact that
Guys.
these people actually have a child, that means they have something that is going to connect them.
It
So what if
doesn't.
he asks you
It
for
doesn't.
more?
It necessarily doesn't need you guys to have a child for this person to keep coming back into your inbox.
And this one was saying,
Are you
how about this one who
sleeping?
slept once
Good
and
morning.
then they left? Are you sure they
Guys, in the house, you
no.
can meet these
Yeah,
people
yeah,
onto their
honestly.
platforms. They should
They go.
introduce you
Devils that
onto
go.
them.
Men.
Mrs. Kadmar, please tell us where we can find you for further discussions in the house.
Lily Kadma, Google Lily Kadma, Instagram, Twitter. Facebook, Lily Kadma.
A
Lily
lady with
Kadma.
the voice.
Thank
If she
you.
hasn't told you she's in the part of the music, there you
I'm a good
press.
time entertainer.
Let's go to the madam in that
And a big
very
time
color.
feminist.
I'm not a feminist, but I'm vocal sometimes on sensitive things, especially if people are being in denial because it is what it is. Sweetie talk.
Shan Fifi on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, I guess it's the easiest way to see.
And as well as you can find on the big billboard of Kings and Queens Talk.
Are we allowed, are the producers allowed to pin your location?
No, thank you. no,
For easy access.
No, please don't access me. It can change.
Well, some people might want to discuss more,
No,
to
they
expand more on the topic.
They find us in the house.
Yes, thank you. They can say it in the comment section, and someone will give them an answer from there.
From there.
There.
They are there down below.
Or they can talk to the directors. They can give them.
The kings themselves.
Yeah.
We go to the king.
Yeah, well, I'm Bukachimi everywhere. I'm actually on all social platforms, even Threads.
Even me, I'm on Threads.
Yeah. I'm also on Planet X. I'm also on LinkedIn. So everywhere.
And the LinkedIn yagana. Sigitegera.
What went wrong?
Yagana oluzungu lungi.
No,
I just tebanyumiza oluzungu naye n'oluganda balwogera.
Looking at the diaspora. Guys, let's wish you a great evening. You can find me at Blackbird. That's on Instagram. Yeah, you can find me at LinkedIn as well. The rest right here in the house, the Kings and Queens Talk. Follow us, like, and comment. Let the house grow. Let us be big. Feel free. This is a house of positivity. Negative energy, please don't cross the curtains. Just step out. Open-minded ideas. We are free. Feel open to talk about anything at any time. You'll always have the right answer. Stay tuned at the Kings and Queens. We sign out.